This show contains movie spoilers and swearing. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bitesize Cinema. I'm your host RJ McCready, and for this episode I'm going to be taking you back to the year in 2007 to be looking at the comedy movie Hot Rod. And joining me for the episode today is Gary Hill. I couldn't think of anybody better to join me for this episode today for this. Gary, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm here, man. I'm here with the captain of our team, if you will. Just having a good time, man.
Oh, that's good, man. So, what you been up to? You been up to anything? Watching anything? Meeting any movie stars?
Well, not yet on the last part. That's next month, I think. Even that has to be real low key. But yeah, I've been not doing much podcasting lately because I got sick for a while, and then I got busy for a while, so hopefully next week, as the time of this recording, I'll be doing a Cinema Beef and releasing finally the latest Last Call of Torchies episode, and just getting caught up with things, and I'm looking forward to doing all of that and getting back on that makeshift motorcycle, if you will.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Of course. And yeah, have you been watching anything? Has anything sort of taken your eye recently? Anything in the horror world or anything coming up?
Let's see. I should have watched *Malignant*, but I hear good things about that movie, and I hear a couple bad things about that movie. But as far as horror stuff goes, I burned a hole in my brain watching all of the 2010s stuff for Duncan's Roundtable thing.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fried a horror hole in my brain, and I intend on watching more horror stuff. I just haven't really gotten to that yet. I guess the most horror adjacent thing I've watched recently is was the first 3 episodes of Why the Last Man on FX, and here in the States, I don't know where it is where you are, but it's based on a comic book from probably like 20 years ago. By a writer called Brian K. Vaughan, who's written a lot of comics and stuff, and it's about a virus that wipes out like the whole male population of the world, including animals and everything.
Wow.
And yeah, Yorick, who is Y, is like the last known man to be alive, and he's the current. Once all the men are dead, Diane Lane is the president, and he's the president's son, and he's the one that happens to be alive, and possibly the key to antibodies for them to make more babies and for the men not to die off. And he has a pet monkey in the show and in the comic book as well. And this was a comic I read when it came out. So when I heard they're developing a movie or TV show for it, which has been like 5 years at least, they've been talking about this, I had to watch it right away. So I ran through the first 3 episodes of the TV show.
It must be good to watch something that's been adapted from a comic that you know into TV show or movie or.
Well, yeah, there was a while there where I was in the States. It's a Wednesday. Day is New Comic Book Day, and it was scripture, it was ritual that me and my boys would go get something to eat and go pick up our books at the comic store. And I don't do it anymore because comics they're pretty freaking expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen, and yeah, like $5 per book. I'm like, I can't do that. That's crazy,
Yeah, I'm still waiting for someone to pick up the 2000 AD universe, because that's a comic that I grew up with. And you used to be able to pick those up for about 8p back in the day. It's a little bit different now. But yeah, like Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper, the ABC Warriors, and Robo Hunter. There's a lot you could do with that, so I'm surprised no one's come along. But then I suppose Judge Dredd didn't do too good, did it, at the box office?
Yeah, they're I love both of the films. For one's more serious, obviously. The other one's more campy, but I love them both for their own reasons. but they, like you said, they weren't too successful as far as a movie goes. But they're loved amongst people, and I'm open for that too. That and that transmetropolitan movie happening one day. I would love to see that. And,
I'm sure someone will take that up, and then maybe it will have its time. There's probably a decade's worth of content there to be done. And talking about a guy on a motorcycle, should we have a talk about this film then, Gary?
Yes, sir. Let's do it, man.
Okay, so let's fire up the moped or the motorcycle. Let's play you guys a trailer, and we'll be back soon.
What's up, little riders? Jump in the public pool tomorrow. Tell your friends. That's just a sample.
Good luck.
Don't worry, Denise. I've done this before.
So, what are you supposed to be?
A stuntman.
Wow.
My safe word will be whiskey.
So you mean whiskey?
What?
I just don't get why you're saying it that way.
Why I'm saying what way?
Forget it.
I will forget it. Whoa, whiskey! Whiskey! Oh! Hey, everybody. We have a new crew member today, Denise. So I thought it'd be fun if we all went around and said a little something about ourselves. I like to party.
I like to party.
No, Dave, I just said that I party.
I like to party.
No!
I like to party.
Okay, nobody parties but me.
Yeah, just Rod.
Yes.
And me.
Sweet.
Oh my God, shut up.
Hey, Rod, maybe you shouldn't fight Dad this week.
Relax, Kev. I'm gonna win this time. I did like 40 crunches yesterday.
Get ready to meet your maker.
Oh, God! We hadn't even started yet!
I just had a great idea.
One big jump, gentlemen. The biggest jump this town's ever seen. Let's party. If I'm gonna jump 15 buses, my body's gonna have to be in top physical form. Did we reinforce the takeoff ramp?
No, we didn't have time.
Cool. Oh! I've already drafted a rough schedule of exercises that will help us take things to the next level. Oh! Now! No, not now!
You're a terrible stuntman.
What?
You're a terrible stuntman.
I'm just kidding. I can hear you. It was just really mean.
From Paramount Pictures.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a jump for the ages. The moment we've all been waiting for.
He's going in circles! Andy Samberg.
Who wants to see me do big stuff?
Hot Rod.
All great men have mustaches. Yeah, but real men actually grow them, huh?
You know I have a hormone disorder!
Ooh.
And welcome back. So the synopsis of this film is self-proclaimed stuntman Rob Kimball is preparing for the jump of his life to clear 15 buses to raise money for his abusive stepfather Frank. So Frank's life-saving heart operation. 6.7 BD. It came out in 2007. So Gary, Hot Rod. I think we brought this up in a past episode and we were talking about it for a bit, so that's why I thought I'd get you back for this one. So I know you're a fan of this movie.
Yeah, it's like comfort food to me, man. Like whenever I feel down or something, this is one of my go-to films to turn on because it's my kind of silly, and I just it's like a pure good, you know. I'm not saying it's the best thing you're gonna watch all week or something like that, you know, but it's my kind of silly when I'm feeling down on the dumps, and I can turn it on and I can watch it all the way through because, you know, and when you say this is like one of the sillier parts of the movie, but you know, his stepfather Frank, who's Ian McShane in this movie, and he's freaking hilarious, man. And what's the line he uses? You know, never mess with a man who's been in a chemical fire. You know, stuff like that. Yeah.
I did catch that last night. That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, the purpose of him saving Frank is so he can defeat him in a fight and kill him.
Yeah.
That's the
thing with this film. It can be so dark in places, so wacky, but it just works, and I find it hilarious, and And the relationship between, you know, Rod and his stepfather, Ian McShane, as you said, is just gold. It just works so well, doesn't it? You know, the one-liners he says, "I'm going to beat you," and he goes, first of all, you got to grow a moustache," and he goes, "You know, I got a hormone growth problem, isn't it?" Yeah, it's just like stuff like that which makes this film work, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, Rod and Rod's team, of course, is yeah, he got one of his Lonely Island guys, and he got some of his SNL friends, Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, is one of my favorite things in the world. You got Danny McBride as Rico in this thing, as that crazy friend that we all have.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Rod's friends. We all have, you know, that friend. You think these guys are stoners, but they're not. They're just acting silly. You know. You got that friend that could build shit. Yeah, I got our journey. You could build shit. You know?
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah, this is it. That'd be me in the shed making stuff and coming out with wacky lines. You know.
You got the self-destructor friend Rico. You know.
Yeah.
I found these fireworks in the bathroom. You want to go shoot them off? You know.
I love that. And then when he says he's talking to Bill Hader, isn't he, Dave, and he goes, I'm still having those crazy dreams of taking on the wizard castle and all the wizard women just wanting to have sex with me. Like, oh dear, just
angry for no reason. This was hard about reviewing comedy. Is it's hard not to see all the lines that are in the movie, like Rico's line where he's beating somebody over the head with a road cone, saying, I've been drinking green tea all goddamn day. You know,
yeah,
shit like that. You know, it's hard not to say the lines that you love, because but yeah, essentially Rod is a guy whose father is his real father. Supposedly, he was like Evil Knievel's assistant, but he wasn't. You find out he's just a guy that met Evil when he came to town, and so Rod's life is kind of alive, and he throughout this film to save Frank's life, he's doing all these crazy stunts, you know, terribly. But he believes in himself as far as like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and stuff like, hey, did you reinforce takeoff ramp? No, we didn't have the time. And then he crashes, and then, you know, hilarity happens. I love this fucking movie so much.
Yeah, I did pick up on that bit when he says, you know, about his father. And it turns out that all other, like, 20 or 100 employees of the store met Evil Knievel as well, isn't it? You know, and it's like, what? Oh, dear. You also got Sissy Spacek.
He died. Yep. Like, he died instantly the next day. Come on now. No, go for it.
I was going to say, you got Sissy Spacek in this movie as well. Makes her, obviously, from the movie Carrie, so it's good to see her in this as well. So you got a few names as well. Will Arnett's in this as well, as kind of like sleazy boyfriend, isn't he? He plays that role really good.
What does he say? I'm going to get some dick bags so we could bang later or something like that?
Yeah.
You know?
And then he's on the telephone to Rod, isn't he? And then Rod's saying, you're just waving a pen in the air, aren't you? And he says, oh, you're a pretty bright kid, aren't you? You know. He's like, yeah. Isla Fisher's in this movie as well. She's looking pretty good in this film.
She's always looking pretty good. Even when she was pregnant, she was looking really good, man.
Yeah.
That Borat's a lucky man. That's all I'll say about that. You know?
Absolutely. I love the way she's introduced, isn't she? When she meets Rod and Rod says to her, oh, you've changed a lot. And then she goes to him, but you haven't changed a lot. You're still the same. And then he introduces her, doesn't he, to Danny McBride and Bill Hader's characters. And he says, we got a new addition to the team. And he goes, let's introduce ourselves. He goes, I'm Rod, and I like to party. And then you got that scene, he goes, and I'm Dave, and I like to party too, isn't it? It's just that whole thing that goes around. So it's become a bit of a phrase.
Yeah, for sure, man. Of course, you know, they all like to party, but, you know, Rod can only be the only one to party. But silly stuff, man. Like I said, it's all pretty childish. But, you know, if you could turn yourself over to mediocrity and kind of childish stuff. And you'll have a great time with this movie. And oh god, the part where Dave is yelling at the sister about the Kool-Aid. I can't stop laughing every time because they're testing Rod's lungs in the kiddie pool, and oh my gosh, yeah, there's so many like little things. Dave's line at when they're getting the food. The chick's like, "Why do you call yourself Voltron?" Because it's fucking kick ass, whatever he says, and I yeah, like I said, it's a comedy. It's hard to not quote the lines that you love, and then hey, you remember that part? Remember that part?
Yeah.
Remember that part where Rod's angry in the woods for no reason? He does the whole Footloose montage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then he falls down the cliffside, doesn't he, about 47 times. And the thing with this film is, it kind of reminds me of, or it is almost like mini sketches put together to make a movie. But the movie does work. It has got like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's got a story, and it's got all the humour to it. But it's almost like it's a little bit ahead of its time, because you think of what we got today. We got like the YouTube and TikTok and all that sort of stuff. And there's little segments in this film which are kind of like that, especially the bit that you just said, with the pool scene. You could just imagine someone on YouTube just going, "Oh, I'm going to test out how long I can breathe underwater." But then at that part, isn't it? He says to him, "But don't let me up. Let me go under the water for like 40 seconds or whatever it is." And then he's trying to ring the bell, and it's the bell wire comes off or something. That's just great. Yeah,
it breaks. He can't ring it himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of stuff would get like TikTok, like you said, would get like 3 million views. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying it's ahead of its time, because Jackass and stuff was doing it before that, but yeah, crazy stuff like that would get a lot of views on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Jackass, because I think Jackass was about at the time as well. I think they might have had certainly on TV. I think they might have even had the film out around about this time.
Yeah, at least first film.
You also had, this came out at the same time as Transformers the movie as well. Michael Bay's first installment of Transformers came out as well, so it's competing against that at the cinema.
Yeah, I didn't see it beating that, but I can tell you one thing: I enjoyed this one a lot better than that movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, this didn't do very well at the cinema. I don't think it did very well critically, but it's become a cult movie. Even to the point where a little while back I went into a supermarket and the lady behind the counter said to me, "Oh, that's cool beans." And I went, "Cool beans?" And I was like, "Hang on a second, are we quoting Hot Rod here?"
You can go back and forth, see, with the cool beans.
Yeah, this is it. And I'm just thinking, that's random, but, people, even though it didn't do very well and critically it didn't do very well, but people don't forget this film. And I introduced it to my 16-year-old daughter this year, and she absolutely loves this film. And she was laughing so much at all the different sketches, and when I speak to her now, she keeps quoting the lines to me. And yeah, it's that type of movie.
There's a part in the movie where Chris Parnell, who he used to be on Saturday Night Live too, but he plays the voice of Cyril on Archer. He's given the whole speech about his tattoo.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
About how urethras work if they're jammed with cum for no good reason, And that's it's like, what is the deal, dude? Like, you're explaining, because he's supposedly, this guy's got a tattoo of a guy taking a piss on radio and TV. I forget what it is, but he's explaining why how the trajectory of why a pea stream would split like that, and it's disgusting. And I don't know why it's in the movie, but I'm glad it is. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a weird part of the film, but again, I'm glad you brought him up as well, because he's like the sponsor, isn't he, for the main jump at the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's like he is the AM DJ, and he's like that typical sort of wears a tweed jacket, isn't it? As if he's come from like the 1950s or something like that. But again, it goes with the film, doesn't it? You know, it doesn't seem out of place. You know, instead of having like FM radio or something like that, let's have the AM because that works.
Yeah, I feel like we're really underselling this film, but I think it's one of those films that either you were introduced to by somebody else, like you were introduced to your daughter, or you know about it and you love it, or you're just one of those people that downright hate it. I can't hate this film. I mean, from like as much fun as they're having, as actors in the film, the soundtrack. You know, if you didn't realize that Europe had more than that one song, you know, you get more Europe in this song than any other artist.
Yeah.
Singing white guys singing about the Trail of Tears for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a Cherokee. Come on, man, it's good stuff. But
is it the final song as well, isn't it? You're the Voice by John Farnham, isn't it? You know. Yeah,
John Farnham. Yeah. Which is that scene of the film, which makes no sense at all. They're singing this inspirational song as Rod's going to the race, and then all of a sudden there's a full-scale riot that happens. I think it's because Rico starts something, right? Is something like that? You know, somebody throws a garbage can through a window, and then it just starts a riot. You know?
I'm just wondering how many communities in America would probably relate to this film, because it's an American film, and obviously I'd imagine there's communities that could probably say, "Yeah, I get this." You know, this type of stuff that's going on.
Like small town stuff. You know, I never lived in like a small town. Like this is probably one of those towns. But stuff like, you know, Friday Night Football, or, you know, this rando guy doing a stunt jump, and, you know, this could be a very big deal in that town, and that's I guess why they had it on AM radio to pump it up. I guess pump up those numbers for Frank's conveniently priced surgery. Come on, that's
for the was it $50,000 that he's got to make? But before that, he decides to make he decides to become a stuntman for parties, doesn't he? So he thinks this is a quick way to make a buck. And so again, you get like another, I suppose, shorts or montage, isn't it, of him at a kid's party and he's set on fire.
Yeah.
And then he gets run over by a bus or something, doesn't he? He's trying to evade this truck, and then all of a sudden just comes out of nowhere and knocks him over.
Well, he like wraps himself in foam or something so he can get hit by the truck, and of course it's still very painful because it's a truck and you're a man, and yeah.
But I love it. Just going back to that bit when he gets set on fire, because he's running around. All the kids look like they're scared shitless out of it, and he gets put out. And I love it when the mother of the party comes out and goes, "Here's your money now, fuck off." It's like,
oh my gosh!
Get the fuck out of my yard!
After terrifying the children with
that's it.
Yeah.
The good old.
You're not supposed to firewalk that long. Ask Kane Hodder about that shit, man. It can be bad.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, it's an entertaining film. I first watched this on a plane going to Australia, so it was a long flight, and I put it on, and it just blew me away. I was thoroughly entertained, and I think I watched it about 3 or 4 times on the plane. Kept watching it, thinking this is great. Love it.
Oh, the song that I mentioned the soundtrack. It's by a band called when Rod comes out at the end. It's by a band called Gown, which is mostly the band Queens of the Stone Age. It's called Head Honcho. I play it often just to pump myself up, man. It's
oh yeah,
it's awesome. You know, I recommend people listening to that and checking out this movie. It's my kind of silly. I mean, it's a Saturday Night Live movie. It's not a Saturday Night Live movie. if I want to recommend the Saturday Night Live movie that came out right around the same time, if you haven't checked out MacGruber and you want to laugh, there's a scene in MacGruber where MacGruber, which is like played by I'll remember this guy's name in an hour, but he used to be on Saturday Night Live too. He plays the fake MacGyver of Saturday Night Live, and the joke is he never defuses the bomb and it always explodes.
Oh,
but
yeah. Okay.
There's a scene in the movie where he's building his team, and this is like a 6 or 7 minute scene, only for them to get in the van and get blown up, and it's just so random. But that's what this movie is. It's just so random all the way through. You know, it's got a good heart to it too. So it's not like you could say, oh, there's some, you know, this is a film that's gonna bring you down. Like, no, you can turn it on and it'll make you happy, because the characters are all pretty great. I mean, the story's got some good heart to it, like I said, and there's not a lot of negativity here. So if you need something to turn on and, God forbid, turn your brain off, you know, just turn on Hot Rod here. I enjoy the hell out of it every time I watch it, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because of the year that we had, you know, with the pandemic and everything. I think films like Hot Rod are exactly the type of films that you need to cheer yourself up and that bit of escapism. And you're right, it's got a hell of a lot of heart to it. All the characters in this are likeable. Even Ian McShane, I think you know yourself that he does love Rod. He's never gonna tell him that. I think he does it just to try and prod him on, and he's just enjoying this entertainment of his stepson putting himself through all these trials and see where he's going to put himself, you know, with this jump. So yeah, I think there was a couple of other films. There was another film I watched last night called Road Trip, which came out in the 2000s, so 7 years before this. You also had like the American...
I did Road Trip.
Yeah?
I haven't watched Road Trip in a while, but I do enjoy it though.
Yeah, because I immediately thought, I was so entertained by Hot Rod, I thought I need to find myself another film. And I watched that and I thought, that's an hilarious film as well. You know, similar sort of type of thing. You know, the characters are wacky. There's some wacky humour in it, but are you entertained? Does it put a smile on your face by the end of it? Yep, certainly does.
Back when Tom Green was the thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do Freddy Got Fingered next. Come on, man. Let's do that. No, I don't want to do that right now. That's nasty.
Oh, was that the... Oh, yeah, I know. That's what he went on to go and do after that, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it, so...
That guy jerks off an elephant in the movie. I'm not watching that. That's nasty.
Ooh.
You know, but that whole movie is Tom Green. On the upside, the whole movie is Tom Green just terrorizing Rip Torn like throughout the whole thing, and that's pretty funny. You know, again, it's that kind of silly, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I say, you get the like I say, the final climax of this movie, don't you? Where going back to sort of Dave, he's built him this motorbike, isn't he? And you've got the AM radio that's kind of sponsored the jump, haven't you, and all that, and then everybody turns out to it, and you got all the pyrotechnics and stuff, so it's all pretty cool.
Yeah, and then Rod pulls the stunt and doesn't pull it off, but you know, he's still a hero in the end. You know, so he lost to win. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because he's kind of got the other thing you got here. You kind of like got a little bit of a Captain Planet type thing going on here, and you like the sort of totem pole.
Oh, it's Brave Star, dude. Have you watched the TV show Brave Star from back in the day?
Oh, was it Brave Star? Was it?
I think it's closer to Brave Star because he does the whole spirit or strength of the bear, spirit of the puma, or the speed of the cheetah. I think it was. I've watched Brave Star a lot when I was a kid. I've watched a lot now. But Brave Star was a Native American sheriff in a futuristic, cowboy town.
Yeah.
And Tex Hex was his main bad guy, and he looks like a grizzly Lance Henriksen. He kind of looks like him, you know. But yeah, Rod did the whole thing, you know, like this, whatever, like the strength of the bottlenose
That's it.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And yeah, he says like all these different like Native American totems, and it just reminded me of Brave Star from back in the day. And still a great cartoon show too. Damn, I still love that show. I watched a little bit of it recently.
Yeah, I knew it was referencing something, but yeah, that's it. So, so he gets the $50,000, and then he's like, he has this like final fight, doesn't he, with his stepdad?
Yep.
And I love the way the film ends, because he fights him, doesn't he? And he punches Ian McShane, doesn't he? And he goes, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Like that. And it's like,
because he makes him shit his pants, because he did. There's a scene earlier in the movie where Isla Fisher is teaching Rod like how to do like Tai Chi stuff, and he asks her, I hear there's a move where you can make somebody, evacuate their bowels or whatnot. And she teaches him how to do it. Of course, Rod shits his pants in front of her because she does the move, and he does it to finish off Frank at the end of the movie. And that's why he says what he says, because Rod defeats him and literally makes him shit his pants. And again, that's how this movie ends.
Yeah.
Man. Because Rod has got his ultimate goal of defeating Frank in a fight.
Yeah, that's it. It's just that's what I mean. You get your beginning, the middle, the end. The film's got a lot of heart. It's got some great characters in it. Brilliant comedy moments. Loads of one-liners. It's a full package, isn't it? And you just come away with a smile. If you're not smiling with this film, man, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh dear.
It's pure good, man. I mean, I watch many things, and this shoots up there like when I want to just turn something on and just turn it on. You watch it or watch it in the background or whatever you want to do, and it's I do enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah. Is there any other standout moments from this film that we haven't covered, Gary? Because I think we've actually just gone through everything.
When Dave is building the bike in the garage, and he gets the piece of metal stuck to his head nonchalantly because he's and Rod's driving to the hospital. The conversation they have, I don't even know the lines, but like Dave's just like loopy as shit. A lot of this is Bill Hader making me laugh in this movie, and that's one of those scenes. The scene where Rod is trying to impress the girl, so he's just like banging on an engine in a garage with a wrench or something, like he's doing something, but she knows he's not doing anything. He's just hitting the engine with a wrench.
Yeah.
Trying to look macho with his Hulk Hogan t-shirt,
It's the same as when Rod comes in, doesn't he? He gives him this speech about the fact he's going to help his stepdad out, isn't it? And then Bill Hader just gets up and Rod's gone, "What's the matter?" He goes, "I've got to go to work." And then Rod's just going through the whole thing, isn't he, with him, what he's going to do whilst he's working at the bowling alley.
Yep. Like I said, a lot of randomness. I don't want to give all of it away, obviously, but it's one of my favorite things to watch, and I think you guys should check it out and tell me if you think it's stupid. Then I'll tell you you're wrong to watch it again. And maybe you'll like it better the second time. I don't know, but
yeah, there's some films out there which you can identify someone's sense of humour. Another film like that for me is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah.
With the Jack Burton sense of humour. This film also reminds me a lot of films from the 80s, particularly some of the sort of John Cusack type movies, and like you said, the Saturday night movies, the sort of Animal House. Mm-hmm. It's a similar sort of league, isn't it? It's for a sort of slapstick humour.
The only thing that ruins movies like Big Trouble in China for me is when I watch them as a kid. When you watch it as a kid, you see Kurt Russell as the hero. But when you analyze it as an adult, you realize he doesn't do much of anything in that movie. As far as it's everybody else, doing stuff.
Yeah, that's it. But I still appreciate the sort of chance that John Carpenter took back then to say, hey, sometimes it's good to laugh at this supposed hero, and
I still love it to death. It's just one of those things where you overanalyze things and you realize that Jack Burton, in the end, is the hero. I mean, he does kill Lopan, and then, evil is vanquished, and, but until then, he's fallen over, he loses his truck, he shoots his gun in the air, and rocks fall on his head, and everybody else is doing stuff, but, thanks to good old Egg Shen, he got some false confidence in a potion. He's all good.
Yeah, I think Jack Burton for me opened up that door that, some people can be heroes, even if you are a little bit even if you are having a bad day. Just think of good old Jack Burton, do you know what I mean? And he pulls it through in the end.
I mean, you've done Streets of Fire already, but I watch Streets of Fire now, and I watched it as a kid. It's a whole different experience. If you go in realizing that Tom Cody's a real piece of shit, and that you shouldn't really be rooting for him to get the girl, you're a lot better off in the end.
Yeah, no, I did Streets of Fire with Colt.
Yep.
A few episodes back, actually. Yeah. Yeah, and as you know, I'm a big fan of that film. But yeah, he is. He's pretty much an asshole in that film, isn't he? But I guess it's for Tom Cody. I guess it's the terrain that he's in, the place that he's in. He's kind of got to be like that to try and survive in some ways. Another time, another place, man.
Another time, another place, man. Yeah, Rod's a hero, man. He wins in the end, and that's what you want from your hero. And yeah, go Rod, man. He is the head honcho and the captain of our team. Good stuff, man.
And he's got a heart as well, isn't he, Rod?
Yeah, he's got the heart of a lion.
Yeah.
Like I said, that song is so good at the end, man.
Yeah.
Just, to bring him into the, get you all pumped up.
Yeah, that's it. It's got, like I say, even though it came out in 2007, I mean, crikey, this film's got a little bit of age to it now. But when I watched it at the time, I thought it feels like a throwback to the 80s as well. Particularly with all that air guitar, like I say, Europe, John Farnham, You're the Voice. Certainly got that vibe about it. So, yeah, I'm a fan. I love it.
If you watch it, look for one of my favorite characters of the film, which is I forget the guy's name. He has a name. But the random Asian guy who wants to be a part of their team, so he's always wherever they are.
Yeah, exactly. And he's doing a little montage as well, isn't he? He's sort of jumping around, and again, it's kind of like a sort of TikTok type thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When we go back to that, and even Ebenezer Scrooge turns up with a turkey.
Oh, for no reason at all. Look, a Christmas goose,
Yeah.
For no reason at all, he just shows up,
And the other bit I've got to mention as well is actually when Rod does this jump, and you got the camera shot of him putting his thumb up, haven't you? And you think he's on the bike, but he's not. He's like about 2 meters away from the bike, just flying through the air.
Oh yeah, because he does dismount in the air, which would kill a normal person. But Rod, he's our hero, so it would be very depressing if Rod died at the end of this movie.
That's it. But yeah, so there you go. Ebenezer Scrooge turned up with a turkey in the end. That's just how random this film is. So, yeah, all right, Gary. Well, I think we've probably covered everything. There's probably a little bit we'll just leave to anybody that hasn't seen this film.
Yes.
But if you haven't seen this film, go check it out. Go and put it on. It's entertaining.
I think it's on Prime in the States right now, streaming. So you don't got to pay for it to watch it if you already have Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go check it out on Amazon Prime then. So, all right, Gary. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for coming onto the show today to cover that movie. Just before I close the show up, I know we kind of mentioned it at the beginning, but is there anything else that you're going to be involved with? I know you just done the summer series, haven't you, with Duncan?
Yeah, that's not over with for you guys. It's over with for us though, as far as like recording. But that's coming up. My roundtable discussion with Mr. Venom, Mr. Watson, Mike Merriman and Jeff Lone, with Duncan, of course. Not two Duncans, one Duncan. So he's not split personality. Yeah, that's coming soon. Sim Beef Podcast. We're still going to do a Rebel Without a Pause month with Crybaby and Roustabout on one episode, and Airborne and Thrashing on another episode. So a lot of white boys with bad lines. It's going to be happening. It's going down, son. Last Call Torchies, which is our big Walter Hill show. Myself, Lee Russell, Cameron Scott. The Warriors episode should be out soon after this comes out.
Right.
After that we do the Long Riders. We're doing all the Walter Hill films in succession with some Patreon stuff mixed in there that are not Walter Hill joints. Next one of those should be The Wanderers. We're going to do The Wanderers to go with the Warriors. They're both gang type movies. You might even done both of those on your show by now.
I have not.
Your other show.
I haven't done The Warriors yet. I'm surprised I haven't. But I need to do that. So maybe it might be one that we could do together, perhaps, Gary. Or, sort of later on down the line.
Love to talk about that movie, so it's all good there.
Yeah.
What else? Two Drink Venom commentaries be coming back. I'm not sure with what, but it'll be coming back soon. Burning for Springwood, the Freddy's Nightmare show. I'm going on and on and on of projects that should be out already.
Yeah.
And finally, Blood from the Core, which is a show I do with Derek Bourgeois, which is all New York City-based horror films. That's a Patreon exclusive to Legion. So if you're not a member of Legion Patreon, please get on that. That's the only place you're going to get that show, unless we do like a special like one for the main feed. But the main episodes you're going to get on Patreon only.
Okay.
So please support the Legion team as you should support Team Rod. Because
All right.
Bo Ransdell is the captain of our team. See?
He is the captain of our team, and he's come on the show a couple of times now, and it's been great. It's good to have Bo on the show. So, and I'm sure I'll get him on the. I keep dangling that carrot in front of him. And he keeps coming back onto the show, so I'm sure I'll get him on for some future episodes. So, all right, Gary. Well, thanks for that. And talking about Ransdell, let's do some admin for the show. I'm a proud member of the Legion Podcast Network, so go and please check out all the other shows on there, including Gary's shows. And you can find Bitesize Cinema on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, several other players. If you type in Bitesize Cinema Podcast into Google, it'll take you to somewhere where you can listen to the show. I've also got a Facebook page where I'm most active, so post anything on there, anything you want me to review, let me know. And that's about it. So what's coming up next? I don't know. I do this every time. I don't know. I just make it up as I go along. Something will just come up into my head. And
it's a wide range of stuff you could do. So yeah, it's hard to make the decision unless you're like that scheduled far ahead. And I know people who schedule their podcasts a year and a half in advance, dude, and I can never do that.
Oh my god, no! I you know me, Gary. I've got a little bit of a work ethic, but I think of something. I could be driving down the road and I think, oh yeah, that film. Okay, let's do that. Let's just hope I don't do something twice. Oh dear, could happen.
It could happen for sure, man.
Oh, all right, guys. Well, listen. Keep it bite-sized.
If you enjoyed this show, then make sure you check out the other great shows on the Legion Podcast Network, like Cinema Psyops, Cinema Beef, Devour the Podcast, Duncan and Bo Come Correct, Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, Friday the 13th, Get Slayed, The Helming Power Hour, Hello, This is the Doom Show, Hero Hero Go Show, Kill the Cast, Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space, Jerry Hates Action, Legion After Dark, Mental Health, Obsessive Cinema, Discourse, Pick 6 Movies, the podcast by The Cemetery, the podcast on Haunted Hill, the Psychosemantic Podcast, Rick Radio, House of Wax, Dude Looks Like the 80s, Rabbit and Red Radio, the Shadecast, Short Bus Cinema, 2 Drink Minimum Commentaries, the VD Clinic, Who Will Survive Horror Podcast, and Witch vs. the Doomsday Clock. With such a wide spread of shows, there is guaranteed to be a niche for you to fall in love with. Horror, politics, movies, books, sex, music, commentaries, health, video games, kaiju, action, news, comedy, and opinions that would most likely get you killed in some parts of the world. We are proud to bring you some of the best podcasting in the world. Check us out at www.legionpodcast.com, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and any other dark corner of the internet where podcasts can be found.